What is the 2030 agenda for you, and what are its main values?
Well, for me, Agenda 2030 is about common sense. It's essentially putting together all the things that need to be done, but it's written up in a structured way. The main values that underpin the 2030 agenda are actually the values that also Czechoslovakia was founded on 100 years ago, which means freedom, equality, ethics, participation, all these things are in there, and I think that the respect for humanity is the most important value, I think, that underpins the agenda.
The topic of the Czech ECOSOC presidency is towards sustainable, resilient and inclusive societies through participation of all. What was the background for choosing this topic?
Well, basically, it's a lesson learned from our own experience. As you may know, one of the main priorities of the Czech foreign policy has been the promotion of human rights. And we see this priority as a continuation, as an extrapolation of thoughts of this priority, because in order to choose something, you have to be credible. And we think that that's one area that we are credible. And the other reason for choosing this priority was also our lesson learned from the transformation of the Czech society post-1989, because we learned maybe the hard way how to create a safe and prosperous society, and we thought that even though these things are specific, or maybe specific, that there may be some lessons learned that other countries might be interested in. We are not going to push it to anyone, but if anyone's interested, we are happy to share.
How is the 2030 agenda reflected in the ministry's policies?
Well, it is reflected in all the documents that were adopted post 2015, when the 2030 agenda was adopted. So, for example, the Czech development strategy that was adopted last year already incorporates the 2030 agenda in its structure.
What is the role of participation and inclusion in the Czech foreign policies and the Czech intergovernmental cooperation?
Participation and inclusion are important principles that actually underpin many of the projects that are conducted within the Czech development assistance and the transition promotion program. So a lot of the projects that we do abroad do focus on participation and inclusion. And within the Czech Republic, for example, the strategic framework Czech Republic 2030, which was adopted by the government last year, was prepared in a very participatory way.
What are the lessons learned and best practices that you discovered during this conference?
I'm not sure I discovered anything new, but rather many of the things that I thought were confirmed, and that is that it's not enough to talk, that things need to be done in a very practical and pragmatic way. And in that sense, I really enjoyed the best practices panels, because those are the people who are the boots on the ground and who are doing the job, and they have very inspirational stories to tell. So I'm impressed.